In this video, we're going to learn about terms and factors and how to use this information. First, we'll talk about terms. Terms says, given an expression, whatever that is, the addition and subtraction symbols separates this expression into its terms. And the terms are what you add and subtract. So if you have 2 plus 3 times 4, some people may say, well, this is easy. 2 plus 3 is 5, and 5 times 4 is 20. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with what I said. 2 plus 3 is 5, and 5 times 4 is 20. But that's not the answer to this problem. Let's find out what the terms are. They're separated by addition and subtraction symbols. There's no subtraction symbols, don't worry. This first term, that's 2, plus 3 times 4 is 12. 2 plus 12 is 14. Consider another problem. What if you had 2 times 4 minus 3 times 2 plus 10 divided by 5 plus 8? Identify the terms. The only thing that I'm not putting in a box are the addition and subtraction symbols. Before you subtract or add, you have to know what the values are that you're adding. There is no 4 minus 3 going on here. This is 8. This is 6. 10 divided by 5, that's 2. And 8 is 8. 8 minus 6 is 2. Plus 2 more is 4. Plus 8 more is 12. There's your answer. If you box the terms, you'll never do things like 2 plus 10. It is 6 plus 2, or minus 6 plus 2. How about you have the problem 14 minus 4 times 3 plus 100 divided by 10, divide that by 2, and then add 3. These are the terms. I just don't box in plus or minus signs. That's all I don't do. I don't box in subtraction and addition symbols. The first term, 14, minus 4 times 3, that's 12, plus 100 divided by 10 is 10. Divide that 10 by 2, you get 5, plus 3. Now and only now that I know the value of each term, now I add or subtract, depending upon what the problem tells me to do. 14 minus 12 is 2. Add 5, get 7. Add 3 more, get 10. So this is 10. Let's go on to factors. Given a single term, one term, the factors are separated by multiplication and division symbols. We kind of did problems already that involve factors, but I kept that secret from you. But let's talk about it in greater details right now. Okay, so the first step is always to identify the terms. Because how can you add and subtract if you don't know what you're adding and subtracting? Now, fact is, you have a brick wall right here. What's to the left of it is 7. What's to the right of it is 2. And 7 times 2 is 14. Just like we thought. Now, a lot of people may say, well, this is simple. 4 times 2 is 8. I square 8, I get 64. That's all true. 4 times 2 is 8, and when you square 8, you get 64. Well, my question would be, why are you squaring 8? Factors are divided by the multiplication symbol in this case. This number is 4, and 2 squared is also 4. We are computing 4 times 4. Let me do that here. We're computing 4 times 4, which happens to be 16. And I happen to want to put the number 5 in front. So this term is just 5. On to the next term. 100 divided by 2 is 50. And 50 divided by 10 is 5. Now, let me do that one a little bit more slowly. There's where it's split up. Well, I know what 100 is. I know what 2 is. I know what 10 is. So I didn't really have to do any serious calculations there. Unlike for the next one. You have 16 divided by 2 squared. Well, 16 is 16, but 2 squared is 4. So it's really 16 divided by 4, which happens to be 4. Okay, equals. That adds up to 19. Take away 16, that's 3. 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. And I want to point out something. So this is 12. That whole line is 12. A lot of students may write things like this. So let's just remember that it equals 12. A lot of students will say, well, this is 19 minus 16, which is 3 plus 5, which is 8 plus 4, which equals 12. Now, this line is 3, and the line above is 12. 12 doesn't equal 3. This line is 8. This line is 3. 3 doesn't equal 8. This is 8. This is 12. 8 doesn't equal 12. 8 plus 4 here, that's 12. So, there's no, what's the phrase I'm looking for? Things don't follow here. And you have all these incorrect equal signs. You need to make sure that your equal signs are wrong, are correct. If you want to do this and say that's 19, want to do that first, wonderful. But write everything else down. If you want to put the boxes, put the boxes. 19 minus 16 is 3. But don't forget to add on the rest. 3 plus 5 is 8. Don't forget to add on the 4. 8 plus 4 is 12. I'll admit, once you get down to where you have one number in each box, once you have one number in each box, that is, you know the value of each term, you don't have to put the box around the terms anymore, because there's nothing to calculate for the term. You already have it down to one number. Like here, over here, we had to figure out that it was 16 divided by 4. But once we knew it was 4, you're good. So for the rest, you don't need to write brackets or boxes. That's 3. Don't forget to add 5 and add 4. This is 8. Don't forget to add the 4. This is 12. Let us try another one. Suppose you have 100 plus 8 times 3 squared minus 2 squared times 3 squared minus 4 times 5 squared divided by 2 plus 11 times 3 squared. Identify the terms. Identify the terms. That just simply means box everything in but their addition and subtraction symbols. Okay. And find the value of each term. Well, this term is easy. It's just 100. Oops, the next term we have factors, different factors. It's 8 times 3 squared. Well, 8 is 8 and 3 squared is 9. So 8 times 9, that's 72. That wasn't so bad. Minus 2 squared times 3 squared. Before you times or divide, know what you're multiplying or dividing. 2 squared is 4. 3 squared is 9. We're multiplying 4 and 9, which is 36. Minus. It's 4 times 5 squared divided by 2. It's 4 times 5 squared divided by 2. Well, 4 is 4. 5 squared is 25 divided by 2. That's 100 divided by 2 is 50. Don't put up these brick walls. That way you don't do 4 times 5 is 20 and 20 squared is 400. No, don't do that. Don't do that. You have 4 times 5 squared. That is 4 times 25. Divide that by 2. Just take it slow and you'll get it right. Before you multiply, know what you're multiplying. That's not unreasonable. 11 times 3 squared. Well, 11 is 11 times 3 squared is 9. Oh, I know what 11 times 9 is. It's 99. So, now we're ready to do it. 100, let's do it here. 100 plus 72 is 172. Take away 36, you get 136. Take away 50, you get 86. Add 99, you get 185. 185. Okay, do not multiply until you know where that multiplication symbol is. It's 8 times 3 squared. It's this number times that number. It is not 8 times 3. It is this number times that number. It is this number times that number divided by that number. It is this number times that number. Separate it. This is the key, in my opinion, to get these problems right. Let us try one more. Suppose you were asked to compute 2 cubed times 4 minus 3 times 2 squared plus 4 times 5 divided by 10 minus, let's say plus, 3 times 5 squared divided by 3 plus 4 times 5 divided by 2. First step, identify your terms. Now, if you don't want to put the boxes, fine, but identify them. Oops. Identify the terms in your mind by putting boxes, whatever you like. Now, we have the terms separated. We work on the factors. It is 2 cubed times 4. 2 cubed is 8. 4 is 4. 8 times 4, 32. It is 3 times 2 squared. 3 is 3. 2 squared is 4. 3 times 4, 8. Sorry, 12. Plus 4 times 5 divided by 10. 4 times 5 is 20. Divided by 10 is 2. Minus, oh, sorry, clearly says plus 3 times 5 squared divided by 3. So this is 3, and we're multiplying by 5 squared, which is 75, and then we're dividing by 3. So I have the values of each factor. It's no longer this complicated thing. I'm doing 3 times 25. You can work it out if you have to. You get 75, and then when you divide it by 3, you get 25. So that factor happens to be 25. 4 times 5 divided by 2. There's nothing to do for the factors. I know what 4 is. I know what 5 is. I know what divided by 2 is. For example, if this were 5 squared, then it would be 4 times 25 divided by 2. 4 times 25 is 100 divided by 2. 100 divided by 2 is 50. So let's do the arithmetic on the side. 32 minus 12 is 20. Add 2. That's 22. Add 25. That's 47. Add 50 more. 97. Equals 97. 22 or 20. 97. That sure looks right. Know what you are multiplying before you multiply. Do not multiply 3 by 2, get 6, and then say, oh, this is 6 cubed. No, no. It is this number times this number. Those are the numbers that you are timesing. Give yourself a chance to get it right. Before you multiply, know what you're multiplying. You're multiplying 3 and 2 squared, also known as 3 and 4. And 3 times 4 is 12. It's this number times that number. 8 times 4, 32. Don't be combining the 2 squared with the 4 or the 10 with the 3. Okay, don't do that. It's what's in one term plus or minus the next term plus or minus the next term plus minus the next term, etc. And then find out the value of each and every term by knowing what you're multiplying and dividing by. You can't multiply if you don't know what you're multiplying. And it's always been, if I gave you 7 times 3, and I said, what are you multiplying? Wouldn't you always say the number to the left of the times symbol by the number to the right of the times symbol? You wouldn't say you're multiplying 73 and 9 or 7 and 9. So don't do that here. Same location. To the left of the minus sign is the first number. To the right of the minus sign, let's make it a little bit more complicated, is the second number, which happens to be 64. So 480, this I think is 512. There is no multiplication of 2 by 4. There's no 8 in this problem, even though I wrote down an 8. There's an 8, well, there is an 8 in the problem, but that came from 2 cubed. There is no 8 from 2 times 4. Before you multiply, know what you're multiplying. Things will become lots easier if you know what you're multiplying before you multiply. Okay, that completes this video on terms and factors.